I didn't always know what I wanted my solo piece to be about. I must have gone through an array of different ideas, each one not quite fitting. And in the end, it came to me when I wasn't even looking and presented itself as the obvious choice. The Hand of Fatima is based off of my personal childhood memories of the Tunisian revolution and the tragic after effects that came with a loss of security and a temporary state of lawlessness.
The archetypal conspiracy theory might go something like this.
For a piece like this, with the amount of opposing theories and truths behind what is known as the main narrative put out by the media, I would probably have needed a lot more than 10 minutes. It also presented the risk of me imposing my own views onto the audience and turning a potential piece of theatre into a lecture. The core themes of it were not taking everything at face value, cultural segregation and an inner revolution. I wanted to explore ideology, fear and the us versus them concept through storytelling. I didn't want to tell people what to think, but rather work with a lot of little triggers within my stories that may or may not have sparked a thought process or a conversation.
Not many people that I know like olives. For me, they remind me of summer, the sea, lots of bread and lots of oil. I mean, oil's a bit of a funny thing, everyone seems to fight over it.
Of course, the finished product didn't just present itself to me at the beginning of the process. I experimented with a lot of different techniques that I could have used. At the beginning, I wanted the whole performance in the style of a game show. At another point, I found myself in a straitjacket singing the national anthem. This is something in which I ended up having 3 times the amount of material that I ended up using.
Have you ever woken up to fireworks and found out they were gunshots?
The style in which I wrote my script was a stream of consciousness, the inspiration for the style coming from a show called Tomorrow's Parties by Forced Entertainment. I worked by weaving light-hearted stories and slightly heavier memories and facts of the revolution together. It was my way of giving the audience a personal tour into the bombardment of information and memories that are often disjointed and hard to piece together within my own head, my memories often conflicting with what past news articles were saying. As one of the main points of my piece was how inauthentic everything is, I endeavoured to create a conflict of the senses with my set, what I was saying and the soundscape I'd made. I wanted the audience to experience the beach as much as they know they are not on a beach. I wanted them to simultaneously believe me and not believe a word I was saying. As well as this being based around my memories of the revolution and upon hearing of the beach massacre in Sousse, I wanted them to have to sift through a mixture of truth, lies and dramatic fabrication. In addition to this, I never mention a location or specify what I'm talking about. This was to allow those jarring effects to happen with the light and heavy tales and the juxtaposition of the calm soundscape. Though I only mention the Hand of Fatima once, it ties in with the revolution and its after effects. In a nutshell, it represents protection and all positive things. I made it the title, as the title represents the piece, and therefore represents the wants of me and the people I know. It was there to challenge the us versus them theory and perhaps bring some light into dark times.